Hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC, right out here at the Avon Park Aero Modelers Club. Going to do the true maiden flight of the FMS PC-21 Pilatus. Wind is out of the west right now at a decent clip, but you know, wind cannot wait for, can't wait for a perfect day because you'll never fly then. So we're going to taxi the plane on down here towards the east, take off to the west. So be using takeoff flaps. Just so you know, the rates I'm going to use right off the bat to fly her in is 100% throws over 30% expo. And my flap settings, I referred to when I had the PC-21 before, a year or so ago, before I sold it, I still had the profile in my radio. So I use those flap settings, which are flaps up or negative 100%. Takeoff flaps were negative 50% with 10% down elevator, and then landing flaps were 0% with 50% down elevator. So we'll start right off the bat with no flaps.
Motor on.
And see how takeoff with no flaps, land with no flaps. Like she's wanting to pull a little bit to the right on taxiing, but I can deal with that. The biggest thing is the rudder neutral when I'm flying. As long as it's not like a grossly hooked up on the terrain there. All right. We're going to take off and they're going to swing out towards the highway.
Gear up.
Gear went up nice, and looks like she needs a little bit of left aileron trim. Like she's climbing just a touch, so maybe I do need, well, no, I think she's fine. So that CG is spot on, right where I got that 3200 where I showed y'all on the radio setup. Yeah. All right.
Landing flaps. Time remaining 4 minutes.
Bring her by slow. She tracks like an arrow. Wind kind of pushing her around.
Gear down.
I'm only going about half throttle right now. I'm just kind of seeing how she feels. I'm going to take her out here. Landing flaps are down. I'll get her turned around here. I'm a little high. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh, that I couldn't have asked for a better landing. Now I only got her in the optimized mode, which is their version of AS3X, which is the reflex version. And I'm sorry if I keep going back and forth between, I'll say reflex, I'll say vector. FMS is vector, Aeros is, no, see, I did it again. FMS is reflex system. They use the reflex system. Avios RC uses the vector system. All right, I'm very pleased with that flight there. Okay. Now we're going to try my takeoff flaps, but we're going to go to my mid rates. She did seem a little touchy. Okay, my mid rates are 85% over 30% expo all the way around. So we're going to take, really what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take off and land at low rates and then work your way up, but I did it just backwards.
Time remaining 3 minutes. Flaps up. Gear up.
There. All right, we're going to take her out a ways. All right, then we're going to turn her around. Slow her down just a little bit. All right, now full speed. That's full speed. That is full throttle. I'm running a 3200
Gear down. Landing flaps.
3200 4S with a 30C discharge. All right, now we're gonna get turned around here. I'm loving the way she's flying. Oh yeah, man, loving the way she's flying. All right, well, I feel confident enough with her. I'm going to put her back in high rates, but I'm going to now take off and land. And this is a big step for me, is I'm going to use their version of safe stability mode. Okay, let me just show you real quick. Prop secured. Okay. Watch the elevator. See how it goes up? Watch my ailerons. You see how they turn up like that and then turn up and stay turned up? That means it's going to keep that plane in a locked in position. It's going to level the plane for you. So let's get turned around. Motor on, because planes just seem to fly so much better whenever you've got the motor engaged. I don't know why that is. All right, now I'm standing off to my wonderful, precious camera ladies off to her right, so the sound on the audio may be doing that. All right, we're going to take off in safe. Or stability mode here.
Time remaining 2 minutes. Gear up. Landing flaps.
Oh, I'm not liking this. I cannot turn the airplane. I mean, I can turn it, but just barely. Yeah, I'm sorry.
AS3X mode.
Sorry, folks. Can't do it. Can't do it. Now I gotta work my way back down here. Get rid of some of that throttle, some of that altitude. Well, I tell you what, talk about a very stable, locked-in plane. And I'm sorry about not being able to do the safe demonstration. It just freaks me out, not having that control. Not the best landing, but hey, that's okay. My wind has shifted on me.
Flaps up.
All right, let's we're dug in. You got to remember, you've got them wheel doors and nose gear doors, and it has a very low stance on the ground anyway. So let me pause my talking, because when I turn away from the mic, it cuts out. She really dug in. All right, let's check the battery real quick. Now, according to my timer, I've got 39 seconds left. But let me physically check the battery, and maybe we got one more takeoff and landing in us. All right, let's see what we got going here. Oh gosh, yeah, I got 57% left. So with a 3200, easily fly for 7 minutes. Easy. That's whether you're hot rodding or not. If you really take it easy, look what I didn't do.
Prop secured.
When I went down there, I did not
Motor on.
make sure my prop was secured. See? Fat guy makes mistakes too. All right, we're going to take off one more time. All right, we're gonna go back to our mid rates, and you know what? We'll do low rates this time, and low rates for me are 70% with 30% expo. We'll see, but we will do the takeoff flaps. All right, you get a shot of those takeoff flaps. You can see they're down. They're not down that much, just enough to give you a little bit of lift, a little bit of assistance getting off the deck. All right. Wind, of course, is, wind, of course, is cross runway. All right, here we go.
Gear up. Landing flaps.
Now that's set.
20 seconds.
That is 70% with 70% throws with
10. Gear down. 9, 8,
30% expo.
6, 5,
All right.
3, 2.
Wind is kind of at my back now, so I'm kind of going into the wind. Then I'm turning towards the runway. Gonna be in the grass, but that's okay. Keep up that momentum. If you know it gets dug in easy, keep up your momentum. Yeah. All right. Oh, let me go back to high rates.
Stability mode. High rates. AS3X mode.
All right. Back in high rates.
Prop secured.
Pop secured.
Flaps.
Flaps are up. And I want to show you where, if I can, where I've got that battery. If I can get the plane turned upside down. Or get the right side up again. All right. All right. I got the 3200. If you see, your reflex system is anchored down right there. The wood starts, the big opening in the wing is where where your box fishes through, and you see the start of the wooden tray. If you'll line that a 3200 Spectrum up right there, it's going to hang off by about half an inch, half an inch or so off the wood. That is the perfect spot. Now, if I had a 4000, I might line it up a little more even with the wood and actually hang off a little bit further. Remember, the bigger the battery, the further back, the lighter the battery, the further forward. You could probably get away with a 2200 4S, but I would have it right up here, kind of push into these wires a little bit, but not too much because you don't want to mess up your reflex. Now, let's talk about an option with this plane. Okay. You paid, I think this plane is $269 or $279 or something like that. Honestly, I don't remember now. And because it's on sale right now. Now, this plane is going to be around for a while. It's a very popular seller. Right now, they're running a special at Hobby Zone. with a spring sale type thing or a summer sale. That's going to end very soon. Right now you can get, I think, 10% off. So that's a good deal, because I think it's normally like $289 or $279, so it drops it down significantly. But when that sale is over and you still want this plane, you can still save some money. If you'll use my link, I'll put a link to this plane in the description of the video, and put in at the coupon field, when you go to put the plane in your cart and then you go to check out, you'll see a little coupon field. Put in there FGFRC, which stands for Fat Guy Flies RC, FGFRC, and you can take $10 off the price. Now, but right now the sale is a better deal, so go with that. Anyways, but it's a good flying plane, good stable plane. Well, you watched it. You know, I'm no expert pilot, and that stability mode works really well. I don't like it because I don't like flying is safe, because I'm a control freak. I like to have more control. But for a beginner, that would be okay. With it, I don't suggest this necessarily be your first plane, but it could be your first low wing. Using that stability, have an instructor, get some time on a simulator with this type of plane, and yeah, then it could be your first low wing for sure. I like it in the optimized mode, which is their version of AS3X. It seems to do really well with this cross breeze as far as keeping the plane locked in. But this is naturally a locked in plane. Anytime you have a plane like this that has a longer fuselage, and the way it's configured, it's a very locked in dart-like flight experience. So I'm very pleased with it. Like I said, this is the second time I've owned this plane. There's the gear. Be careful with the these gear doors. They will sometimes hang up on this one. They just pop back into place. It's no big deal. My gripes about the plane, these wheels, I mean, you could chip a tooth on these wheels. They are so hard. And so a new pilot's going to have a problem. If you don't bring that thing in just perfect, you're going to have a lot of bounce with these hard wheels. I wish, you know, you could take these off and put some DeBros low bounce tires on here of the same, just measure them. So that's one gripe I've got. The other gripe, which is a minor gripe, you know, they go through all this to make this plane, so much engineering, I mean, to make this thing look so beautiful, but then they can still see the wires, you know, and I understand what they're doing here. That's for serviceability. These little plastic doublers that hold everything in can pop right out. You can take your wires out, service, change your servo or whatever, and then put it back in, because if you put tape over that, then you're going to pull the paint off. So I understand why. I don't know what the solution with it. Maybe a solid piece of light plastic over that's the same color that pops in and out like these to hide the wires. You know, there's different options. Prop was balanced right off the bat. The ESC was calibrated right off the bounce. I checked it off camera. I can't say. I did have to manually trim some of the flaps to get them level. I had to, you know, and to get it. To do that manually, you unhook your clevis, and then you rotate your clevis in and out on those threads, just depending on what you need. I did have to do that on the flaps, nowhere else. Everything else was locked in. She did seem like she needed a little bit, what did we say? Right aileron, I believe I said, when I first took her off, just a touch. And the other thing, you get two antennas that you're supposed to physically just shove. They have a start point you're supposed to shove into the foam, and they're just pressured in. I chose not to do that because it's something and they only hang out about that far. You're going to catch it on something. Now you got a hole in your foam, and I just chose not to. That's your choice. Well, folks, there you go. That is the FMS PC-21 Pilatus. It's a great flying plane. It's a Swiss jet trainer, believe it or not. Normally it's a turbo prop in real life. And yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and a big shout out to Hobby Zone for sending this out to me. And thank you so much to them. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, folks, faith, family, and friends, and then awesome planes. Bye-bye.